I was at a wedding recently and was speaking to a friend who lives in Toronto and manages a high-end hotel downtown. Being a small-town boy now, I was a bit overwhelmed by the big city traffic and asked him how he got to work. E-scooter, he answered, and immediately got my attention. This kind, not this kind. Like the one you rode when you were 10, except nowadays they make them for adults with giant batteries in the floor and powerful electric motors to propel you past all the frustrated commuters stuck in traffic in their cages. I loved the idea of reliving my youth with a cool scoot, especially one that can zip along at 31 kilometers per hour or 19 miles per hour. So when HiBoy, an electric bicycle and scooter manufacturer, contacted me with an offer to test one of their products, I immediately went for the scooter. I was excited to give it a go. They sent me the S2 Max, and I had a blast, and can see why so many adults are ripping around on these things these days. For the deets, stay tuned, and if you like the content, please consider supporting this channel by hitting the subscribe button, liking the video, and sharing it with friends. I like all things two-wheeled, and even though this is primarily a motorcycle channel, it's fun to test out some of the new electric products coming to the market. E-bicycles, e-motorcycles, e-hybrids like the Suron Light BX, e-dirt bikes, e-scooters, the big ones, and e-scooters, the little ones. With all these products, what is it that differentiates a scooter like the HiBoy S2 Max? It's the most compact. Literally, you are able to fold it and carry it around with you, or pull it behind on one wheel. The scooter arrived well packed and was a breeze to put together. And I'm gonna slide this thing out, and wow. Looks good. We've got 2 extra inner tubes for the wheels, just in case you get it flat. Okay, so this cable just folds up in there, and it just goes straight in there. And on go the handlebars. There we go. Handlebars are in, and there are 6 screws that go in here to hold the handlebars on. You're provided an Allen key to get them in. All right, so here we are. This thing looks pretty cool. It also comes with 2 extra tubes and some stuff to help you inflate these tires. It looks amazing. And here you can see that it's got a little folding feature, and it's got a little latch back here that I just noticed actually, and you can catch this latch onto here and you just carry it around with you. Great little vehicle. The HiBoy S2 Max sports a good-sized 48-volt, 11.6 amp-hour battery mated to a pretty powerful 500-watt hub motor, which is programmed to give you 3 riding modes: Eco, Daily, and Sport. Eco gives you a top speed of 16 kilometers per hour, Daily dials it up to around 25, and Sport propels the scoot to a top speed of 31 kilometers per hour or 19 miles per hour, faster than most people can ride a bicycle. HiBoy claims a range of 64 kilometers, presumably in Eco mode. It also claims that it can climb grades up to 20%, which is very steep. After quickly learning the ropes, I rode the S2 Max exclusively in sport mode and found that I could get more than 30k while zipping around at wide open throttle everywhere. As for its climbing prowess, it had no problem getting me over a mile-long hill with an average grade of 10% and a maximum pitch of 13. I weigh about 175 pounds, and the HiBoy hauled me up that hill considerably faster than I usually ride it on my bicycle. Other features of the S2 Max include a hydraulic drum brake on the front, which has decent stopping power, although it did occasionally let out a squeak. Also, the tires are inflatable to absorb bumps, which can be felt through the handlebars and floor of the scooter because it doesn't have suspension. Because the wheels are compact and tightly fitted to the frame, HiBoy included some standard equipment with the scooter. The scooter comes with these 2 regular caps, the 2 black ones. It comes with a little valve to put on the valve that's already on the wheel, and it comes with these nifty things, which are 2 tire pressure sensor caps. And you can attach a regular bike pump to it pretty easily. The tire pressure is 44 psi when cold, so that should be your max tire pressure. That doesn't mean you have to go up there, but probably gives you more efficiency to run it closer to 40 psi. Now on the back we have the valve that is pretty short on the wheel, and of course it has to be short in order to clear this space here as the wheel turns. So the unit comes with a valve extender that you put on here, and you screw that on, and you basically pump up the rear tire through that valve. Now these little tire pressure caps are pretty cool. As you can see, we've got good pressure, it's green. We've got good pressure in the back, that's green. However, there is a problem with the back tire pressure gauge cap clearance. As you can see, it comes very, very close to the frame there. And when there is no load on the scooter, it clears the frame nicely and it doesn't hit the frame. However, when I'm on the scooter, you get this clicking sound. So there must be a little shift in the frame that causes the pressure on the tire, causes the valve to stick out a little bit more, and it causes the end of that valve to click away as the vehicle is moving. So obviously that's annoying and not ideal. So in the back, I just ran the regular plastic cap that came with the unit as well. And of course with that, there's no problem with clearance because it's pretty flush. Additional features included working lights, cruise control, and phone connectivity with the HiBoy app, which allows you to check battery life, turn on cruise control, or lock the scooter if you're going in to grab a double espresso and want to leave it in front of the coffee shop for a minute. The S2 Max weighs 41.5 pounds, light enough for someone to carry, but too heavy to grab it and try to run away with it. So what's it like to ride? If you rode one when you were 10, will you still remember how? Yup, you will. However, it does feel a bit twitchy. The geometry on these machines is so much steeper than on a bicycle or a motorcycle that it takes some getting used to. Turn-in is telepathic and very immediate, and the turning circle is tight but requires good throttle control. With a little bit of practice you can figure it out, as I'm doing real time here.
Nice turn.
Oh man, it's nice. I'll turn the other way.
Okay. Nice.
That should be easier.
Wow. Wow, nice job.
Oh, sport mode's a little jumpy for turns. You gotta turn with your momentum. And it's smoother. Then you apply the throttle when you straighten out. But you know what? When you apply the throttle partially, you just get partial power anyways. Yeah, so you can kind of dial in the amount of power you want. Just give it a little bit of throttle. It takes a little getting used to, but I've got it on sport mode right now, and I'm not getting like full power when I just give the throttle a little tiny press. But when I give it a full press, when I give it a full press, that's when you get the full power. The operation of the S2 Max is simple. Get the scooter rolling a bit, then press the thumb throttle. It won't take off from a standstill because of safety concerns. You don't want it launching itself if you accidentally nudge the throttle. HiBoy says you need to be going minimum 5 km per hour for the throttle to start working, but I found that it worked from as low as 2. Additionally, I found you could slow the scooter down to 2 km per hour, basically a stop, and then get going again. The scooter is balanced enough that you can do this without putting a foot down, and this feature is handy if you're navigating a crowded sidewalk. The progressive throttle sensitivity allows you to weave through pedestrians even in sport mode. The platform is plenty roomy for my size 11 shoes, and I actually enjoyed rolling around in the standing position. For one, it affords you a better view of the traffic around you, and secondly, it's healthy. Everyone is getting standing desks nowadays, and my Apple Watch keeps nagging me to stand up, so it must be good for you. You can do feet parallel or one foot behind the other, which was my preferred technique, and after a period of acclimatization, it starts feeling as natural as if you'd been doing it your whole life. One of the cool things about traveling on a scooter is the variety of places you can go, seamlessly transitioning between street, sidewalk, bike path, even boardwalk. Did I take it on dirt? Well, gravel and grass, and it was totally fine. The S2 Max rides nicely on most surfaces, however, when getting any scooter, you have to remember that these wheels are tiny and there is no suspension. I tend to carry my phone on the handlebar in a Ram X grip, and this grip has held that phone through some seriously rough dirt biking. The only 2 times it has let go was on my bicycle, which had a rigid fork, and on the S2 Max. Rolling over blended curbs between bike paths and street crossings does jolt the handlebar a bit, but it's no bother if your phone is in your pocket. If you're on a paved path and have to scoot onto the grass to get around someone, the HiBoy will do it no problem. There were 2 more things I liked about the S2 Max, and the first was how quiet it was. Electric bicycles and motorcycles tend to give off an engine whine, and their chains click and clack as you're moving. However, the HiBoy was eerily quiet, with the rolling tires producing the only noise I heard, and not much noise at that. The second feature I liked was that it is still functional as a scooter without the power. If the battery dies, you can still move above walking pace to get home. I've ridden many fat-tired electric bicycles which are so heavy and have such high rolling resistance with those huge tires that if the battery dies, it would take Lance Armstrong to pedal the things home without e-assist. So it's fair to say that I really enjoyed my time with the HiBoy S2 Max. Zipping around on it made me feel like I was riding a magic carpet. And it may be the most practical city vehicle you can get. I used to live in Toronto at a time when it was considered the bike theft capital of the world, so chaining up my bike outside was always anxiety-inducing. A vehicle you can fold up and carry or pull behind you on one wheel into an elevator and your apartment or office seems a natural solution. How much does it cost? $650 US or $780 Canadian. I'll leave a link to the HiBoy site in the description below. Surprisingly affordable considering you'll make that up in less than a year by not paying for your bus, streetcar, subway, or Uber. Most cities have extensive networks of bike lanes, so you can get around almost anywhere. And I have to say, this is a lot more pleasant than sniffing the armpit of the person squeezed in beside you on the city bus on a 90-degree day. So, during the filming of this video, I was zipping back and forth on a waterfront road while Brooke was filming clips, and I noticed a couple of kids, probably about 10, watching me closely. Later, they got on their own scooters, much smaller than the HiBoy, and were going past us when one of them turned and said, "Nice scooter." Then they rode off and Brooke and I had a chuckle. Nice scooter indeed. It's been a while since a 10-year-old found me cool, and it meant a lot. During my time with the S2 Max, I filmed, went shopping, picked up takeout, went out for pleasure rides, and explored a bunch of paths I had never noticed before. And I have to say, it brought back some of that wide-eyed wonder I used to feel zipping around on my scooter, skateboard, or BMX when I was a kid. I think every adult needs to reconnect with that part of themselves once in a while. The HiBoy was a fun little machine. What do you think of the e-scooter resurgence? What's your mode of getting around crowded cities? Please leave your thoughts in the comments below. Scoot safe, and may the spokes be with you.